Welcome. I'm so excited that you are with us today. You are on the Success Secrets for Business Family Life channel. This is the Coffee Break Show. I'm Vicki Helm. Welcome. And it's brought to you by Metadime Digital Network. And I am so glad today we are going to really make a difference in the world. Today I have with me Kim Frum, and I just want to go ahead and tell you about this important, I want to tell you about this day. Today, what we're going to be talking about with Kim is Operation Santa. And she is the Senior Public Relations Representative for the United States Postal Service. And she's been working in communications in the community for over 30 years. This is somebody with a lot of experience. And she's starting in TV and radio. She did all kinds of communication work. But today, she's going to be talking about the USPS Operation Santa. And the reason this program is dear to her heart. Now, I want to talk about this before we go, and I just want to say welcome to the show. I'm really happy to have you with us today, Kim. It's really nice to see you. Can you hear us, Kim?
Oh, thank you very much, Vicki.
Good.
I can hear you. It cuts in and out a little bit, but I can hear you.
Okay, good. What I want to say today for everyone coming on is that this year in the United States, we have seen a huge amount of natural disasters. There has been floods, there has been hurricanes, there has been fires. There has been things where families have experienced big loss. And even outside of the normal loss people would go to, we have to add the pandemic loss because some people right now, good, hardworking Americans, have lost their jobs. They've lost their ability to, right now they're thinking, do I buy food or do I pay rent? And what happens every year is that for, I think it's 108 years, Operation Santa.
108 years old.
Yeah. Operation Santa has stepped in every single year. And I just want to say, Kim, just tell us all about Operation Santa right now. And it is a 108-year-old program that helps families. Yes?
Yes, it is. It was established in 1912. A postal
Wow.
service, it was then the post office department, started getting letters of Santa Claus from kids for whatever reason they decided to start writing. And then a local postmaster, General Frank Hitchcock, authorized a lot of the local postmasters and postal employees and customers even at that time to respond to the letters. And the program just sort of took off from there, and it eventually became known as Operation Santa. And then along 1940, the mail volume got so much that the Postal Service invited a lot of charitable organizations and corporations to participate and providing written responses to these kids, as well as some small gifts. And it's just been growing. Yeah, it's been growing from there. And this year we are 108 years old. We love doing this program. Everybody loves doing this program. I mean, it was created by the Postal Service to serve people in their communities and help families and friends and kids in need. And it's an amazing program. And this year, for the past 3 years, we've actually done some online pilot tests just to see if going to an online platform would be something that the public would embrace. And it started in New York City. And it was very successful. And so building on that success, we expanded to 7 cities.
Wow.
And then that worked. And then building on that success, we expanded to 17 cities last year. And it was phenomenal. So this year, we are now completely nationwide, completely digital. Oddly enough, the decision to go nationwide was actually made at this time last year. So it's just a coincidence that everything that's going on with the pandemic is going on, because we did not tie them together. We actually made the decision to go online completely last year.
To that.
So
amazing.
Yeah, so prior. But I guess, for lack of a better word, it's fortuitous that it's worked out this way, because so many people can actually now, respond to these letters and read these letters. It's just simply amazing.
Do you have any, well, first off, do you have any letters with you that you can read for us? And the second thing is, I think what you said is very important, how this process has grown, because the spirit of giving in America has always been very, very big. And helping children and families out right now, that is something that is at the top of mind of most people at this time of year. But you've been going. This has been going on. You can read letters at the site,
Mhm.
and you can also. Do you have any? Can you read us one? Can you pull one up so we have an idea
Yeah,
of what their Dear
yeah.
Santa letters are?
I have one. I have one here from Jonah, and these are letters. These letters will be posted on December 4th. That's when adoptions kick off. We've been getting letters for quite a while, but this is just an example of one of the letters we have this year, and it's from a sweet little boy named Jonah. He's like, "Dear Santa, I don't want anything for Christmas, but I would like to ask you if you can do me a favor. Can you please find a cure for COVID-19 and give it to us to save the world? Thank you, love,
Whew.
Jonah."
Well, that wrecked me.
I know, right? You know,
The
it's
dear
really
heart.
it's really hard to it's hard and it's fulfilling to do this kind of program every year because you see these kinds of letters
Hmm.
all the time and they just tear you apart.
Hmm. The
These kids are just, you
humanity.
know. Yeah, and the thing that's really great is you have people out there that read these letters and they're touched and they within reason will do everything they can. Obviously, you know, this particular letter is going to be hard for just a normal individual like you or I to grant,
Send
but
that one to Pfizer or something, you know.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, there's another one. There's another one that we got from a young man named Anthony. Um, I'm sorry, a young lady named Alani. I apologize. And she's like, "Dear Santa, this year has been rough because of Corona, but I was hoping I could get some Lego sets because my mom said she can't get anything for me for Christmas because she's not getting paid as much as she could, so she can't afford anything. And I would appreciate if my mom could get something too because she takes care of us and gives me food and works very hard. So I just wanted something for her, like a gift card. Love always, Alani." And little Alani is 9 years old.
Hmm. Wow. Out of the
Yeah,
mouth of our children comes the kindness that the world could
yeah,
use every single day, that kind of kindness. So tell
yeah.
me, how does the Operation Santa work? I want to tell you those letters. We'll read another one in a minute, but wow, you have to have a break in between because they kind of wreck you. I also want to say, hey, Peter, nice to see you on. Nice to see you on. Let's go over here. I just want to say, Karen, thank you for putting this up. This year, Operation Santa is now completely online. Check out this link, operationsanta.com. Get involved. We're going to be putting that link up through this show a lot because this is a year that we need to get involved like our children are involved. We just had a young boy tell Santa that the one thing he wants for Christmas is to have COVID cured. And I just think that if we thought a lot more like our children did, we'd find more kindness in our heart. And this is a way that we can do is tell us about what happens with Operation Santa. How can they get involved?
Well, there's 2 ways to get involved. I mean, if somebody has children or, you know, a family in need and there's absolutely 0 judgment. I mean, that's the one thing to know. There's 0 judgment, and for this purpose, Santa is non-denominational. So if you're Jewish, if you're atheist,
That's
you can
right.
still write in because religion doesn't mean that you don't have a need.
That's right.
So, you know, we encourage anybody who really truly needs something just to write in. Now, when you write in, it's not a guarantee that it will get adopted. That is the one thing. Our goal every year is to get 100% of these letters adopted. You know, that's a great goal, but it doesn't always happen. But there are a significant amount that do happen. Last year, as a matter of fact, we had 11,000 gifts sent out, and 950,000 people visited the website. So, you know, it does reach a lot of people, and a lot of people do get a very happy holiday. But the way it works is if somebody wants to write a letter, we'll start with that one. If somebody wants to write a letter, it can be an adult. It doesn't matter. You write a letter. saying what you need, what you want. If there's clothes, what size. If there's shoes, what size, colors. If you have a book, a favorite author would be good, maybe a title,
Mm,
just some specifics so people will know, exactly what is needed. Dolls, what kind, Paw Patrol, things like that. Specifics are very good. And then once you have that letter, whether an adult's written it or a child's written it, put it in a stamped envelope. It's important that it has a stamp. Make sure you have your return address. You make sure you have your return address in the upper left hand corner, like any other normal letter, and then you would send it to Santa Claus or Kris Kringle or whatever you call Santa in your household. The address is important. It's 123 Elf Road, North Pole, 88888. It is a legitimate address. It does get delivered just like all the rest of the greeting cards and mail all year long do. And then the postal elves go to work redacting any kind of personally identifying information of that letter writer other than the name. So
nice.
anybody who's going to read these letters online, all
Yes.
you will see is you don't know where these people live, you don't know cities,
Mm,
you don't know what school they go to. Anything that could personally identify them is removed, other than first names like Little Jonah earlier. Um, and once that happens, once the letter is redacted, it gets posted to USPS operationsanta.com. Letter writer or adopters beginning on December 4th, no later than 8 a.m., adoptions will open. And then you can go to that website, read a letter, find one or more that speak to you. It's
mm,
all about what you're comfortable with, all about what you want to do. And then you have to actually register to be an adopter. And with that, you actually have to go through a small security vetting process. And we can't comment on, specific
of
questions are asked, but
course.
we have to verify you are who you say you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so once you're vetted and approved, you can adopt as many letters as you want. We do have many companies that do it from year to year. They get a team together at an office
Nice.
and
Nice.
everybody pitches in. They maybe get, 5 to 10 letters. Everybody pitches in, buys gifts, and then they send them out, en masse. So
Mm,
once you actually become an adopter, and you're approved to be an adopter, you can go ahead and select your letter, and then you'll get a packet, an e-packet, basically, that tells you what your next steps are. And that's is go buy the gift. You can take it home, wrap it, and then you need to put it into a box. You get a code, and then you take that box and that code to one of our 19,000 participating post offices around the country, and you hand that code to the retail clerk behind the counter, and they will take it from there. At no time will you ever see who you're sending it to,
that's
where it's the
good.
destination, or anything else. However, this year something new is a lot of people last year were like, well, how do I know that my gift actually arrived? So,
Yeah,
because usually when you send something through the postal service, you'll get a tracking number,
that's
and you can
right.
track where
That's
it
right.
goes and see its destination. You don't get tracking numbers in this. However, you will get an email from the system to let you know that your package has been delivered.
Fantastic. I mean, these are things that are technology has brought us. I want to. There's a couple of things you've said, and I want to read another letter soon too. But
Mhm.
there's a couple of things that you said that I think are really important. That are in. If you're listening on iHeartRadio or Pandora, wherever you're listening from, inside the Facebook chat, there are all the addresses that she's mentioned for you. So, USOperationsSanta.com, get involved, and then letter writing, all of those things that you can participate in to the to grab and adopt a child. You do not have to be a child to write Santa. You can be an adult. And
And
if you are writing Santa for a child and you're an adult, the name of the book and the author that you like, clothes size, shoe sizes, those things that you can add that are important. These are things that are going to be very important to have in there. If you're an adopter and you're like a business, a small business or a large business, whatever size you are, you can go ahead and make this part of the tradition of giving inside your business, where you can get together and adopt a bunch of kids and get all the presents, get them there. But the thing that I thought that was most important is your privacy is protected.
yes,
When you write these letters, your privacy is protected. You will not have anything that is disclosed, that is personal, that should be out. And this is the kind of time where if you are asking for help, now's the time to do that. That's a good way to do that. It's not a guarantee, but last year, 11,000 gifts were completed, and almost 1 million people, I think it was
Yeah.
950,000, visited this site. The spirit of giving is very big right here. Can we have another letter that you have on site that these kids are talking about or offering?
Sure. Got a letter from Anthony. Um, Dear Santa, how have you been? I hope you're doing all right. Sorry if I don't have the proper grammar on this letter. I'm writing you right now. If you could wish for anything, what would you wish for? Please write back. I know you're super busy and all for Christmas and all for Oh, I'm sorry. It's the punctuation is throwing me here. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Please write back. I know you're super busy and all for Christmas, but I would really appreciate it if you wrote. If you could write me back, if you could, can you and your elves make me a set of car keys that has this button that when I hold it down and speak into it, what car I want the keys to belong to, that car will magically appear right next to the keys.
What a good
And
imagination.
and can you make the perfect game for me that I can go in and play, kind of like the movie Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and when after I'm done playing, it puts me right back where I started in reality. Yeah, most of these days in COVID, I feel really down in the dumps, and that game would kind of be like my way to escape reality. Hope you have a Merry Christmas.
Wow.
A believer, Anthony.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
One of the cute things that's there about that letter is he's very clear about sharing how tough this pandemic has been on kids,
yeah.
and that they need an escape from reality. I mean, they need some downtime. It's this different type of pressure in schools opening, then closing, then opening, then closing, and the fear of getting COVID or bringing it home to your family from school. These are underlining stresses our children are going through right now.
Hmm.
Can you pull another? Is there another? Or
Yeah.
I
This
want to
one,
hear the children's. I want to hear how they're feeling right now, and that was a very good one.
well, this one actually is from a single mom of three.
Oh, great! Let's.
Um, Dear Santa, I'm a struggling single mom of three kids. I'm doing the best I can, but this year has been the roughest I've been through in a long time. My kids are 9, 8, and almost 2.5 year old. I have my kids set for Christmas with family and friends. I have a special request. We are in desperate need of a vehicle. Between my doctor's appointments and each of the kids, we are always on the move. With COVID and public transportation, it's not safe for my children. I have a vehicle at the moment, but
Mm,
I can't afford to get the transmission fixed. I'm not asking for a brand new vehicle, just in need of a van or a large sized four-door car that can get us from doctor's appointments and the kids to school. I don't get much help from those around me. My boy's dad is not allowed to be around them, and my daughter's father chooses not to see her. Sorry.
wow.
I was diagnosed with cancer last year, and I have to get
Uh,
checked every 6 months downstate. If someone can make my only wish come true, that would be so appreciated. Please call me if there are any questions. Haley.
that is
So
beautiful.
that's an example of some of the requests that we get from adults. I mean, there's a lot of people that are in a lot of need. Oh my goodness, that one. Whew.
Yeah, it does.
Uh,
The single mom of three with cancer, and
yeah.
I get she's struggling. These are people who are definitely in need, and these are ways that you can help out. There's always that. What is that? Don't let the right hand know what the left hand is doing. I like that concept because sometimes when you give anonymously, all you can feel is how enriching the joy is when they
Right.
receive it, even if you just imagine it. And this year, families have been between Washington and Oregon and California and all the fires that broke out. It was a summer of entire communities getting wiped out. And this year, I can't tell you how many times those hurricanes have hit the land. That was
Mhm.
like we went through the whole alphabet, and families are completely in unrest right now
Right.
because their daily system, their daily life has been thrown out of place. And these children, through these letters that you have, what I really understand is that if you have kids, you know how hard it's been, whether you have babies or high school students or even college students right now, you know how tough this
Mhm.
year's been on the family. And Operation Santa has been around for 108 years. We have gotten to the point where we have a system in place that is going to help others receive your gifts of love and kindness, give you a lot of fun and joy, because I imagine part of the fun is getting these letters and trying to figure out how to solve these problems, like choosing the letters you want to do, and then
Yeah.
going, getting all these things together, etc. And what if what like, is there a deadline date that people have to get
Yes.
this kind of done, so it kind of arrives during the holiday season?
Yes, the letters are actually going to be accepted. They started being accepted officially on November 16th. However, we
Hmm.
were getting people writing in as early as October. Um, Letters will be accepted up until December 15th, and then the adoptions are open from December 4th to December 19th. We do have actually shipping days, deadlines for the Postal Service for just general shipping for the holiday season. And the very first one, which is something called USPS Retail Ground, that shipping date is actually December 15th. So if somebody adopts today and they want to send it via ground shipping, they have to have it in the system by December 15th. Um, the other big ship day, now that's just for the continental US. If you're shipping to or from Alaska or Hawaii, that's entirely, those dates are a little bit different, and that actually information is in our holiday newsroom. You can just Google USPS holiday newsroom. It'll take you right to that website, which has information about this program, but it also has the shipping deadline dates. So
That's good.
yeah, so if you're sending first class package, which is what this would be, the shipping date for a domestic would be December 18th. That's the same to and from Alaska. Hawaii, December 15th. So, you can imagine, because they're very overseas. That's a little
Yeah.
bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there are shipping deadlines, and you can find that information in our holiday newsroom. Like I said, just Google USPS holiday newsroom. It'll take you right there. Um,
Yeah.
the one thing you had mentioned about the security, about the letter writers, the adopters also, when you're vetted and you're approved to be an adopter, you do get in your little packet a note, because we don't want the adopters to put any personally identifying information either. So,
Oh, of course.
so if you were to adopt, don't sign it "Love Vicky." It's
Or
supposed
put
to
your
be,
business card in
or
there.
put your business card or a phone number or an address. Hey, call me, let me know you got this.
It's
No, uh,
completely enough.
completely anonymous. But
Love
what comes in
that.
the packet is a little letter that says it's from Santa. The
So
information
nice.
also lets parents know why this gift is showing up anonymously. If the parent didn't know that their child wrote, if the child just went ahead and did it on their own, as kids sometimes do things without the parents knowing. If the parents had no idea and this gift just suddenly shows up, that way the parents know it's a legitimate thing. It's not something odd, but the program was why this is coming to their house. So it sort of puts the parent's mind at ease too, as opposed to like, why are you getting shoes from somebody we don't know? I mean, who's this
Yeah.
Santa? Why
Yeah.
is this person sending you stuff? So that's helpful too. So yeah, it's anonymous on both ends. Um, with regards to the one thing, I just before joining you, I actually got off of one of our weekly Operation Santa meetings, and as of today, we have. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. We have 300,000 people who have visited the website already. Just just this year, since November 16th. That's actually ahead of where we were last year at this time. And we
Yeah.
have 14,000 letters that are being populated on the website. And so, you know, we're off to a really good start. We do notice a rise in letters when there's times of unrest, like the 2007 2008 recession.
Sure.
There was an increase in letters that year. So
Absolutely.
we expect that there's probably going to be a fair amount of letters. I mean, just based on people whose families have been impacted, whether they've unfortunately maybe lost a family member or a friend, whether their parents completely got laid off from their jobs or just furloughed, making money tighter than usual. We expect that there's probably going to be a lot more letters coming in this year. And as I said earlier, our goal is to always get 100% of them adopted. We haven't gotten there yet, but every year that's the one thing that we do hope for, because it's just so very important to help people if you have the means to
Especially
help
right
somebody.
now. If you have the
Yes,
means to help right now, we have really hit a turning point, a tipping point for families. And I mean that tipping point is the stress level. And
right.
so this year, the kindness and humanity of the American people are what's going to make this Christmas enriching and joyful. And what I wanted to say that I really appreciated when you said this, because it's holidays. It's
Hmm.
not a particular religion. It's everybody. And the reason I like this program so much is because it deals with humanity as a whole. It doesn't take into consideration if you practice Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever it is that you do. That's okay. Please, take the time and write that Santa letter. Please adopt that letter and just know that you are enriching someone who needs help right now, somebody who is struggling right now in ways that you're not. That one helping, that one adoption, that one thing can turn things that frown into a smile, even if it's just for a moment. That level of happiness, I will tell you what I think it's going to do. I think people are going to remember the kindness that they received, and I think they're going to pay it forward,
Hmm.
so that Operation Santa next year is even more people adopting, even more people remembering the kindness they received when they were at maybe the lowest point in their life right now. And this is why Operation Santa is so important. I'm going to ask you, I know you've read 4. If you could dig another letter out and just one more, that will make that the last letter, I promise. But I love these letters. I mean, to me, they're so touching. You
Okay.
could you could actually read these over and over and over, and they're very touching. They're very deep. They're very personal. These are people that are saying, look, I am down on my luck like I haven't been on before. And for those people who are watching or listening, please remember that you whatever you can do, there's no demand, but whatever
No.
you can do, thank you for doing it, whether you adopt one person, 5 person, or however many people you can adopt. And for those people that have already been to Operation Santa, the 300,000 of you, thank you right now for your efforts to make the holiday season wonderful for everyone, as many people as we can, especially our children everywhere. Thank you for that.
Yeah, again, the people who have visited, those are people who are just checking it out, and who right now the website is not live for adoptions, but there is a button at the very bottom of USPSSanta.com that allows you to keep abreast of what's happening. So when the adoptions open, you'll get an email saying, "Hey, today's the day." So anybody who goes
Fantastic.
to look at it today, absolutely, they can just get a good idea of what is. They can see letters from last year that are still up there, so they can get a good idea of what is there in addition to what we've read today. So yeah, it's a very good program. It's very helpful. So many people have benefited from this over the years. So one of the letters. 4-year-old Aiden wrote this one. Dear Santa, my name is Aiden. I am 4 years old, and I have been a very good boy this year. I would like to have a Paw Patrol fan, Thomas and Percy train, toy tree with toy crane with remote control. That's very important. this this has been a very tough year. I lost my daddy and my grandpa, and my mommy is having a rough time. Maybe you can send her some happiness. I love you, Santa.
Mm, that's it. He lost his dad and his grandpa this year. That's a big
Hmm.
year for a little kid.
And he wants his mommy to have happiness. I mean, that's what can you say to that? I mean,
Yeah.
we have there is a section on the site for special requests, like the mom of 3 that asked for the car. Um, there is a special section on that on the site for special requests. So if people are actually able to, you know, really go above and beyond like that, I mean, that section is there for them. I mean, anybody can read any letter. It's not, selected just because of who you are. You can read anything you want. Um, The one thing that we do ask is if you choose to adopt a letter and for some reason, whatever reason, you find that you're not able to fulfill that request, you can actually cancel your adoption. That will allow that letter to go right back on the site, and maybe somebody else will be able to adopt that letter and give that child or that adult help grant their wish. Um, so it's very important if you know, and there's absolutely no judgment. I mean, if you can't do it, you can't do it. If you thought you
Hmm.
could and then something happens, maybe you lost track of time, maybe something happened
Yeah.
financially, it's not important the reason, but we do ask that you know, relinquish that letter and let it go back into the onto the
Yes.
website so somebody can adopt it, because once you adopt one, it pulls it off the website, so you can nobody else can read that or take it. um, the other good thing is it's not just single letters we get. We actually get letters from families. And so
Wow.
we post the letter from the family. And so if somebody adopts a family letter, what happens is, you know, you'll have whatever gift requests for all the kids, you know, for two or three kids. And we've actually had somebody ask one year, they're like, you know, well, I've adopted this family letter, but I can only afford to get two things for two of the kids. It's like, there's four children, maybe you just adopt two individual letters and put the family letter back so someone else can do it. You know, because you don't want to adopt a family and have everybody but one kid get a gift. That's sort of defeats the purpose and the spirit of the program. You know, and it wasn't done maliciously. It was one of those, I didn't think about it, and we're like, nope, no problem, just put it back, get one, just get two separate letters and you're fine. um, so yeah, it does really span the entire country, all generations. And
Yeah.
there are some wishes that can't be fulfilled. You know, unless like Jonah's, you know, getting the cure for COVID. Pfizer
Mhm.
might get, you know, we could send Pfizer could get that letter if they wanted. But most of them, it's just basic necessities. We get people asking for gift cards for food, for grocery stores. Um,
Wow.
you know, it's most of it is basic, just basic necessities. It's not anything extravagant. It's just simply so they can go on and have a nice holiday. And this year, especially, I think it's important to have this program because, again, so many people have been touched
So
in
many.
so many bad ways by natural disasters, by COVID, by, you know, even just somebody randomly losing their job, or, you know,
Yeah.
a parent or a family member. And the holidays are about, it doesn't matter what holiday you celebrate, it's about the joy and the kindness and the spirit of being together. And to be able to open a gift, even just one gift on
Yes.
for the holidays, kind of brings back a sense of normalcy
Yes.
for these people who their world may have been upended. And that's a big deal. Just to
Yeah.
feel normal and to feel special and to feel like you're deserving, and that, you know, it doesn't matter what's happened to you, that you're still a good person and you deserve some joy. I think that's a very big deal, especially this
Yes.
year.
Everyone deserves love and joy.
Yes.
Everyone. Uh, I like this. I agree with you, MJ. This is such a great undertaking, a very special way of making somebody feel wonderful. I mean, it is. And let me ask you something. How many years have you been doing this Operation Santa, and why do you like it so much?
Well, I'm relatively new to the Postal Service. I joined a little more than 3 years ago. My fourth year will be coming up next year. And so basically, right when I got there a few years ago, I was asked, hey, do you want to help us work on our peak season, which is our peak season is the holiday season, and it's from
Of course.
Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. And
Wow.
falling in that is the Operation Santa. And so I was asked, do you want to help work on it? I'm like, sure. I love Santa. You know, who doesn't? And so, you know, I got pulled into it that way, and the more the years have gone on, the more involved I've gotten. Um, and so, you know, it just every year I get more and more involved, and, you know, you see these requests and they just, some of them just tear your heart apart, and some of them are hysterically funny. You know, some of them, the kids don't want anything, but they tell Santa, "Hey, here's a joke." You know, how do you not lose your pants when you go up the chimney if your belt's that tight? I mean, they're some of them are hysterically funny, and so you'll find yourself reading these letters and crying at one moment and laughing hysterically the next moment. And, you know, it's just it's really amazing to read all of these. I think what really touches me the most, about the children who write in is the selflessness that these kids have. There are so
Hmm.
many that don't ask for anything for themselves, but ask for stuff for other people. Their parents, they see, it's funny because people don't really think that kids pay attention. And kids are so much more observant than people give them credit for. So
Absolutely.
when you see, all I want my mom is to be happy. Can
Hmm.
you maybe find my dad a new girlfriend? He'll be so much happier. He deserves love. I mean, you know, it's amazing because it's a reality check because you realize, you know what? Yeah, they actually see a lot more than some adults do when it's right in front of their face. And
Yeah.
yeah, these kids are amazing, and the adults that write in too. I mean, they wouldn't write in for themselves unless there really was a need there, and it just really speaks to you. I know last year, our whole holiday team, at least the ones that were local, we all got together and we adopted, I think, about 5 or 6 families. So we all went out, we all went shopping, we all got our own, either our own family or our own part of a family, and we would go out and we would go shopping to, buy the gifts for these kids. And
Cool.
I had one little girl who was a kindergartner and she wanted dolls and Barbies and
That's so sweet.
brats, and then her mom said, in addition, can we get some books for her?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, I went out and got some coloring books, I got some dolls, we got some
Ah, lovely.
clothes, some kindergartner, almost kind of like workbooks to help them work on their words and things like that, little alphabet books. And all of us, as the team, we got together in a conference room and we had music, Christmas music, and we had food, and we had wrapping paper everywhere and bows everywhere. I mean, it was just all over the room. And it was a chance for our coworkers that, were friendly with anyway, but we had a chance to get together and do something really good together, and bring happiness to these 5 or 6 families. It's not just like getting together with your coworkers for happy hour. I mean, this was really an honest to goodness thing. And we were talking and we were laughing and we were talking about the letters, and some of us got some really touching letters, and we were
Mm.
reading them and we were crying together.
Yeah.
Um, but it was great. I mean, it was we were given the gift of our own happiness by being able to provide happiness to these families. Um,
Yes.
and occasionally
Everyone,
we will get. I'm sorry.
it's like that's so interesting because the happiness factor that you just talked about, the happiness of doing it and the happiness of receiving it, those two things in that moment that you create in the world, just for the joy of lowering stress, even if it's only for a couple of hours,
Mhm.
they never forget the memory of that, that one Christmas where they got something under the tree and the families are doing that. And the way you did this, working together and wrapping it, and how fun it was for you. I mean, giving is actually a joyful act.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, even if you don't get the credit,
Yeah.
knowing that you've helped somebody is a big
Mhm.
deal. There's so many times that you see so much hardship. You're like, oh my gosh, what can I do? I don't have the money to give to somebody to do this. I mean, even if you can't afford to do a letter adoption, there's so many other ways to give back to your community.
Yes.
Volunteering, anything. So, but helping people is really a great way to I guess, bring joy to yourself as well.
It
It's not all
is.
about you, it's about the people that are receiving the gifts, but it's nice to be able to have that little spark of joy and happiness knowing that you're going to make a huge difference to somebody. We
Yeah.
actually do get people who have been recipients that write into us and say, "I never expected this to be fulfilled. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You have no idea how much this meant to me. When I'm able to give it back, I will give back, and I plan to adopt, when I get back on my feet." There are so many people who just stumble onto the program. Like last year, they just, like, I heard about this and I thought it was a great idea. And then, they realized how important it was because they did it with their kids. And
Yeah.
so they've written into us and said, we are going to make sure we do this as a family every year because it's not only an important lesson to teach our kids to be kind, but it helps people who definitely need help. and thank
Mhm.
you for the program. So there we get a lot of positive feedback. It's
You know
amazing.
what's interesting about this? My mom used to have this habit every holiday season where when she went shopping, it doesn't matter where she went shopping, she would buy a few extra toys, some shirts, a blouse, a box of candy, or something. And I remember, coming home and saying, "Who's this for?" And she says, "I don't know yet. It's just a gift that's going to be given to someone in
Nice.
need." And so, wherever you are, if you have an opportunity to give back, you can do that beforehand and just have it wrapped up, and the family you're adopting from Operation Santa will show up, or the gift or the person, it'll show up. There's going to be ample time to an opportunity to give back in years to come, but right now is a year of big need.
Hmm.
Right now, we have things that we're up against that we have not been up against since 1918. We have children who are stressed, and they are stressed because they can feel the stress of their parents, who are good, hardworking people, who are people that have been providing and providing and providing and providing and suddenly been cut off.
Hmm.
They've kind of been and feel forgotten. They're not quite sure what to do. And they'd love for anyone who feels as though they can give, that they have the opportunity. And if you're watching this show and you need to write the letter, write the letter.
Right.
If you're watching and listening to this show right now and you know that you want to adopt, the adoption is going to be open in a couple of days, and you can go there, read some letters, find the people you want to adopt, these people that speak to your heart. That little boy, just the generosity of his spirit. "Santa, please, nothing for me, but could you get rid
Hmm.
of COVID
Yeah.
so life can go back to normal?" This year is a very important year for Operation Santa. And on the Coffee Break Show, we always look at the hardships of others and what we can do. And I want to say, Kim, this has been such a thrilling show for me today, because the the Operation Santa is something that is not just newly done. It has got teeth. It's been in this country for 108 years.
Yes.
And when you go to the postal service and you're waiting in that long line and you're really, "Oh my God, my time, what am I going to do?" It's whatever those are right now. Just think of these people who are doing this Operation Santa, who are taking this time to work for you. This is a great part of our system, the United States postal system. And this 108-year-old program will help children, help families, and help everyone just for a moment experience some joy, some kindness, some stresslessness in a time where there is great need. In
Hmm.
a time where there's great need. This is your, okay, we got people coming in. Come on, people, this is your chance to give back to the world. Jump on the bandwagon. I'm with you, my friend. I am with you. There is a huge need this year. COVID, unemployment, closed businesses. Please encourage others to write a letter or adopt one with no judgment. This is what I
None
like
at all.
about this program. This is all about love. It's
Hmm.
about love. It's not about whether you can or you can't. If you can't, no, there's other ways to give, and you can do that. If you can give this way, you want to do that. Karen, thanks for putting this up. The password about Operation Santa, please share this week to everyone you know. USOperationSanta.com. Get involved. So I'm going to leave that on the stream right now. It's pass the word about Operation Santa. Please share this week to everyone you know. Now, if you're listening, it's www.USPSOperationSanta.com/get involved. Get involved. And I know you've already a bajillion letters, but can we just I want to close the show with one letter. That's right. Here it is. That was from Sasha Lovelace. She's the queen of sharing. This is, come on, people. This is your chance to get back in the world and jump on the bandwagon. Yes, it is. It's a time where you can lovingly giving back. Sasha, thank you for that. Thank you for the experience of jumping on the bandwagon, as I knew you always would. So can we get just one more letter? And I know you're like, okay, let me find one. I'll just get one to pop one up. But I want to close this show with a letter so that you can understand the heart of humanity and kindness is here. And if you can give back, please do.
Yeah, actually, I do have a letter. I believe it's
Yay.
from Imogene. And before I read it, the one thing I did actually want to let you know is that on December 4th, not only does the adoption open, but also the movie called Dear Santa. It's all about USPS
Dear Santa.
Operation Santa. Yeah, it comes out in select theaters throughout the country, and is also going to be streaming online. You
Ooh,
can
I want to watch it.
Yeah, and it's actually really good because the woman who directed it, Dana Nachman, she actually reached out to us last year and said, "Hey, I'd like to do this." And nobody had ever asked before, but we gave permission. She got behind the scenes. The people in the movie are actual letter writers, and you can actually see the people that this program
Fantastic.
has touched. So yeah, I just, wanted
Thank you for
to share
that.
that as well. Yeah. So where it's streaming is, I'm not sure what, I think it's streaming on Hulu and a couple of others, but the that information is actually on our website USPS.com. So that information is there.
Look at
But
this. Oh my gosh. This is,
but
she
so
got it already. Dear Santa, documentary chronicles. That's why I love you, Karen. You rock. All right. Thank you very much. We'll
okay,
leave it up
so
that and let's go with this last letter.
So we have Imogene. Dear Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, you are a very amazing person. The reason why I said that is because you travel all over the world to give kids presents. Now that is what I call a nice person. Santa, I hope you and Mrs. Claus and the elves and the reindeer are safe from the virus. If you decide to come this year, I hope you are safe. But if you don't come this year, take your wife out for a ride. That would be good enough present for me. But anyway,
Oh.
I love you, and I do not care how many times people tell me that you are not real. But I know you are, and I will always believe in you. I love you, Santa, Mrs. Claus, elves, and reindeer. Anyway, this year I don't want much. What I want is some paint, canvas, and a book called He's Not Worth It by Kieran Scott. Also, This Is Not Happening by Kieran Scott. I love you, Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, elves, and the reindeer. Love, Imogene.
Oh, that's really sweet. That's really sweet. That's the heart and soul of our future right there, our
Mhm.
children. And how they get through this is going to determine their future. Kim, I just want to say this has been such an inspiring conversation, so enriching. And thank you for I know the USPS is really busy right now. It's the
A little
busiest
bit.
time of year. Yeah. And for you to take some time to jump on the coffee break show with us has been absolutely so fun.
Well, I'm
Uh,
happy to be here.
it's really lovely. And so, for those of you watching or listening, wherever you are, do me a favor. If you can, spread a little love, spread a little kindness. Go over to Operation Santa. You can find the link again. Get some gifts, adopt a kid, spread some love, spread some kindness. And thank you for being a part of the Coffee Break Show. I really appreciate it. All right, you guys, this is today's Coffee Break Show. Thank you, Kim, for being with us.
Thank
We will
you.
see you tomorrow. I know you're going to be buzzing talking about this show already tomorrow, but we will talk about that as well and other things on the Coffee Break Show. Peace out. Mwah. Happy holidays, everyone. All right, really go. You can go.